I would just jump in and say, as much as I love everyone, I think the scene with Christopher Reeve and Tom, where he handed.
All right, next. It's hard to top that scene, I have to admit.
Hi. Hi. I came down from Ireland just to see this because it's been a fantastic series, and I was just wondering, for Tom, when you filmed with Christopher Reeves, what was it like meeting the man who you grew up with, being Superman?
I don't think I've even still sort of understood what it was like. I mean, he was such an awesome guy, and he made me feel so comfortable. And from an acting point of view, he was able to do so much with what he had to use in those scenes. I mean, he just, obviously his mobility was impaired, his breathing was impaired, and he was there. And one story that I don't know if anybody knows about, he was only allowed to be there, I think, for 5 or 6 hours. Like, his nurses and his doctors weren't going to let him work any longer. I think he stayed something like 10 hours. He just wouldn't let them take him away. And he really just... it was really just sort of somewhat of an out-of-body experience for me, just to be there in his presence. He was a great guy.
Question is for Tom. It's my daughter's 18th birthday.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not happening. Next question.
Hi, I just had a question. I've been with this series since I was 10, and so I've really grown with this series. How have you guys grown with these?
Do you want to? Hey, hold on. Whose birthday was it?
That's a really good question. But I've had several daughters, and I know the 18th birthday is so important. Please let that gentleman say whatever it is.
Thank you.
My daughter's in the crowd too. Where's Leah? Leah. This.
Oh.
Here's your pencil. Miss, I'm sorry for that.
Accomplished in the 10 years that you have? Well, I think you've got us beat, no matter what. But yeah, it's hard to really understand for me that the show has been on the air for 9 years. We're going in our 10th year. When you're starting out on a show like this, Peter Roth, I think I've said this before. Peter Roth told me in season 1 the show is going to go 10 years. He guaranteed it, and he was right. But as you continue through the series, every year there's a bit of uncertainty whether or not you're coming back next year. You just don't know. The ratings are good, the ratings are fine, whatever they are, and they just don't tell you until the last minute. So there's always a bit of a not sure if you're coming back, sort of like a gypsy lifestyle to it. I think I'm being a little long-winded here. But I think what happens is every year is its own year. Every year is its own season, its own show. I think that between 5 and 6, I think we kind of turned into another show. And I think that's helped us make it to this point. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though it's been 9 years, it doesn't feel like it. It goes by very quickly. And even looking forward to this season, it's really only as far as you can see, and you don't know what's going to happen after that.
This is a question for Tom.
Why do you wear a black and silver uniform instead of a red and blue uniform?
Oh,
That
God.
might be a question for Brian and Kelly, too.
It kind of came about because we felt like before Clark Kent really becomes Superman, he has to go through some trials and tribulations, and it was really hitting him at a very dark period in his life. So the suit really, I think, reflects what's inside, which is why there's this slow transition, because he still isn't quite Superman, but we know he's going to get there soon.
My question's for all of you guys, because the whole series is ending. What do you hope that you'll take away from what do you hope the fans will take away from the entire experience of 10 years of watching all of you, the ones who are here, who aren't here, grow with us and, you know, what we've seen happen to you guys?
Erica?
You were saying what we hope the fans take away? Well, I hope they have the reward and satisfaction after watching it for 10 years and be absolutely in love with it. We're going to work our hardest to make it a great experience for you guys. I have to say, when we were at dinner last night, Kelly made a toast about how this probably will never happen in any of our careers again, which I thought was a little... I don't know about that, but it does speak to the fact that this is something super special. And as someone who came in pretty late in the game, I have to say what a family this is, and what an experience. And I've never, mind you, I've never been in any other show for 3 years, but this show, there's something really familial about it. And the fact that I think you guys started so young speaks to that. And so I hope the fans take that away. I feel like a lot of people grew up with this show over 10 years, and that's really, really special. So thank you guys as well.
I hope that, Erica, are you just going to talk, because I'll stop? You're just moving. Okay, you're just adjusting. I hope, being someone who's on a show that is 32 years old as well. No, I'm not 32. The show I was on, The Deuce, 32 years old. There's that question about what not to do on Smallville, that was one of those things. No, not in here. You can do it all you want, because I'm not going to do it on Smallville. Although I do listen to the song in the truck, apparently. But I hope that you understand 30 years from now, I guess 20 would be 22 actually, to do the math, okay. 22 years from now, I hope that you understand that even though the actor types and the production people are kind of sequestered away from the fan base most of the time, that we do truly appreciate and understand that it's not just lip service when we say that we do understand and we do know and we are appreciative that we wouldn't be here 10 years in, 20 years in, 30 years in, because I've seen it, if it weren't for you. So even though you don't really run into the people on your favorite show all that often, but we do, it doesn't mean that we don't care, and it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate every minute you've spent in front of the television or every magazine you've bought or every now on the internet, everything you've done, because truly you are the folks that we work for, and you are the folks who have employed us and kept us doing what we love. So